I welcome everyone into this podcast. And this podcast is presented to you by Dev Crusade. And Dev Crusade is a community which is for aspiring software developers, and we help such aspiring software developers to gain expertise in your interested domain through collaborative learning. Right. So if you guys want to know more about about the community, you can follow us on our LinkedIn. Right. So today we are having this podcast. The name of our podcast is DSA Demystified, right? And like our aim of this podcast is giving the students or participants who are attending this, giving them like how to learn or how to master DSA in under 4 months or in least time, so that you can get placed in top product based companies, right? Yeah, so for today's podcast, we have Prashant Kumar with us, and he is currently SDE 3 at Oracle, right? And I will tell you more about him, right? So, firstly, a little bit about Prashant is he has means he has got 15 plus badges on lead code, and he has solved over 650 questions, and he is also 4-star rated on CodeChef, and he has cracked more than 5 companies for jobs or internships, which are JP Morgan, PhonePe, Mastercard, Amazon, UBS, Visa, and others, right? And Oracle, of course, right? So we are having like Prashant with us, and I think that we can start with our main discussion. I had like we had previously floated one Google form for registration, and in that form we actually got questions from you guys that whatever we want to discuss in this particular podcast about this domain, and I think that we can start with the questions. So, Prashant, how important is to have a strong foundation in programming basics before starting with DSA preparation? And are there any particular programming concepts that beginners should focus on first?
Okay, okay, okay. So as far as your question is concerned, I think the main idea behind this question, look, whoever has asked this question, the main idea behind this is if we are going for some offline or online campus recruitment or any such interviews, which all are the areas which we are majorly looking forward, like only DSA is required or any other things are also required, right? So what I would suggest you guys, like DSA is kind of a first or second level of things which you have to crack to go into some product based companies, right? But you are not going to it's like if you go in the industry level, it's not that industry asks you to write a binary tree in your code, right? Industry doesn't ask you if you're working in a banking domain sector, they won't ask you to implement the hash table or implement the hash map or the dynamic programming. They would have some set of problems or some like startups they used to work on the day-to-day life problems, and they want to provide a solution. Now this solution is, if you break down this solution, it requires a different set of things at different stage. Like it requires your problem solving skills, then it requires what kind of an algorithm you want to use, then it requires, like, if you want to make this algorithm works very proper in a very efficient way, then you require some design patterns. Then if you have this design patterns, then you require the out, like what will be the UI, what will be the back end, how will you incorporate techniques like Kafka or messaging queue. So, like a simple product have a multiple and humongous kind of a things. So you have to have everything under your radar, so that you can, when you are being interviewed somewhere in the good product based companies or any service based companies, you have to have all these armors with you so that you can fight it out, right? So as far as your question is concerned, I would recommend that obviously DSA is always going to be your first criteria, which will lead you ahead in the any challenge or any interview. And after that, if company, always search on the companies. Like if you are working on banking domain companies, or if you are going ahead some different like medical sector companies or retail companies, you know that their product and their services are going to be oriented in those domain only, right? So you have to prepare yourself in such a way that you are saying company, okay, I am a very well and I'm a ready product who can just come into your company and who can start working for you as per your requirement. Your their requirement and your ability should align with each other, right? This is just a like it's a common thing, it's a common sense. Like if you are good in something, then you have to show your skills to them. Okay, I am, your company require this and I am good at this. Okay, I can do this. So any, if 10 people are there and you are showcasing yourself that you are good in this thing, so you are going to definitely going to get an edge over these things. So that is where I would recommend you people to go ahead and learn with for the company, like what all are the technologies they work on, then read about it, then try to give them give the time to the core concepts. Or always make sure that you read the job description very carefully. If you will read the job description very carefully, like half of the battle you will win there, half of the battle. If they require the set of technologies and you know them and you brush them those technologies just before your interview, you are going to perform really well. So I know the DSA is required, but other than DSA, you have to, as a fresher I'm talking about, you have to be very much focused on your core fundamentals. Like you have to have a very good knowledge of your computer networks. That is very much required. Then most of the companies ask you the operating system. Like they even ask you to design a LRU. Why? Because you have this thing in your syllabus in your 5th semester or 6th semester, in whatever semester you are reading or studying this operating system, you will have this LRU caching mechanism, pagination, segmentation, all this the smaller concept. They ask you to, can you implement that? Can you implement them in a coding format? So all these things, this core concepts of computer technologies, as a fresher, they will definitely gonna ask you. So focus on your concepts like computer networks, then operating system, and a few other companies even they intend to ask automata questions. So to see that you are very good at doing the machine level coding or not. So all these things you have to make sure that you have this under your belt, other than the DSA. DSA is just a first step which you have to cross.
All right, yes, it's truly stated by you that the core subjects are also important. And as you said, I feel that you guys, database management is one important subject, CN, that is computer network, operating system, and a couple of other subjects, right? So you guys have to keep those subjects strong while you are preparing for DSA also, right? Yes, so Prashant, I think that we can go with our next question. That Yeah, so this is like a basically very important question. We will say how to start preparation for DSA from scratch for placements.
Okay. So you want this question like full throttle regarding the DSO,
Yes,
right?
like you can here you can give a little bit sort of roadmap, you can say, or
Okay.
so that like the beginners will actually will be helpful from this question. So that's what we are looking
I
for.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. So if you require a roadmap, Himanshu, I think I can share you a link. I personally have created one 90 days roadmap for like how I prepared for my DSA. So I have created this roadmap. So if anyone wants keen to interest to see that roadmap, I'll share a link with you and you can share with your users so that they will go ahead and learn that. Okay, what I will suggest you, whenever you are starting a DSA, so always remember that start with a scratch. Don't think that like what we usually do the mistake that we have learned this arrays and pointers, all these things in first or second semester, right? And when we start coding in the third year, end of third year or starting of fourth year, we are like, okay, we know the concepts of array, it's nothing, we can manipulate the for loops and other things in the array. And what happens when you start doing like even a simple binary search or even a shorting, let's say you are doing a bubble short or you are doing a binary search, then you will get to know that you know array, that is different. And when you are implementing that and you are trying to get the output or trying to implement a simple concept in your coding, that is whole together different episode, right? You cannot think like, okay, I know the array, because array questions can be of two line, and array question can be of dynamic memory allocation to your dynamic programming to like it's a infinite thing. You cannot control anything in DSA. That is what the most people do the mistake, that we know this thing. So always start with the scratch, always start with your core concept, and the DSA is all dependent on two things, which is searching and sorting. Now if you go ahead in anything, you go ahead in your binary search, you go ahead in your trees, you go ahead in your graphs, you go ahead in your anywhere you go ahead, like what question they will ask? They will ask you to find me the leaf node. How will you find a leaf node? You'll have to traverse through a tree, right? You'll have to, they'll ask you, can you find the disjoint, or can you find the connected component in the graph? How will you find that? You definitely have to iterate over the graph, iterate over the tree, right? So this is a basic operation. The basic operations will only make you eligible to solve a bigger problem. So always start with the for loops. How can you write the for loops? How can you break your loops? Because let's say you are writing a code and you have created a loop, and which is unnecessarily going for some iteration, 100 or 200. Now if someone is seeing your code and he say, okay, this for loop required 10 iteration, and he or she is doing like 100 iteration without any purpose, it is not solving any purpose. So that is a bad impact. You are not writing a very efficient code, right? So even you have to know, like, when you require if else, when you require switch case, when you require to continue your loops, or when you require to break down your loops. So these are the things, and these are the core concept of any languages. And after that, when you start DSA, you start with the searching thing, and you start with the sorting thing. So you start with the binary search, the linear search, and when you do the binary search, like 50% of your tree, 50% of graph is done. If you are doing search, and if you mastered the binary search, like in most of the freshers interview, I would give you a rough figure: 60 to 70% of question will come where either it will be direct question of a binary search, or it will anyhow require your binary search ability to solve that question. So it's like a out paper. You know the question, it just you have to prepare them. So start with the binary search, then you have to start with the shortings, then you have to start with the arrays. And the major concept, any language, the major concept is string. Why? Because in some languages strings are immutables, and how you manipulate the string. And then there are some sort of questions which in array or strings, which requires a specific set of algorithms. Like you have a two-pointer approach to solve some problem, you have sliding windows to solve a question. Then you know that there is a question where we say that, okay, these are the 5 letters, how many words you can create with them. Then you require the permutation and combination for that. So all these things, you start with a very basic of array, string, start learn some 10 to 12 like what we can say, the day-to-day life use of algorithms. So I also have created one document for that, Himanshu, and I'll share that as well. And you guys can go ahead and check if Himanshu has pasted the LinkedIn, my LinkedIn profile. It's there in my featured section. You can check that out as well. So there I have created this, and I have created all this 10 to 12 basic fundamentals algorithms which are used to solve any major problem. And again, I will always give two things. One is what we need to do, and one what we usually do the mistakes. So what we usually do the mistake, we go ahead and wander around this LinkedIn page and everything. Then you see that, okay, this guy got selected in this company, and ABC XYZ company, and then you go and check, okay, he has done this. Then you start doing questions on directly on the lead codes, and you start doing question directly on the graphs, on the trees, and you don't know that how he or she has prepared himself or herself for that, solving that level of question. You cannot just directly go, like, if you don't know the addition, you cannot do the multiplication or somewhere around like all this base theorem or all this probability kind of thing, right? Anyone can solve this, but for that you have to have a very basic and very fundamental, your concepts are very clear. So that then there I would recommend you to start with the core concepts, loops, if else, then start with your arrays string. And do you want me to suggest like which all are the platforms or anything in this only, or maybe is there any other question regarding this, or I can cover here?
Yeah, sure, Prashant. You can go ahead. Like we will stay in the connect along with the answer, so you can go ahead with that.
Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, so I know that when we have this, okay, I get to know like what I need to do now as a fresher. The very basic question, everyone, I think me also has this question when I started, like from where to start, like there is a ocean of resources available. You open anything, you find thousands of YouTube channels are teaching you searching, shorting, DSA in 3 months or 2 months or anything like that. But how to start, where to start, that is what you have always make sure that you are going on a right path. You just don't go blind and follow anyone and start doing the coding there. So for that, what you will do, what I would recommend and what I have done, I'll tell you. So there are like GFG, I think everyone knows Geeks for Gigs. So Geeks for Gigs is a platform which will give you a very good knowledge of your conceptual clarity. So if you solve even a simple binary search program, you will see that they have done it in a multiple ways. Someone is doing it in order of n log n, then they require like the concept they use. Someone can use a simple code to do it in your binary formatted coding, and someone can do in a simple for loop. So then if you want some concept to learn, you go ahead and check out GFG, learn the concept and solve this question then and there. Don't ever do this thing, okay, I read about linear search. Linear search is nothing, it's just for loop, and I need to check, okay, this element equal to available or not, and I'm done. No, because no interviewer is going to ask you to linear search. Now, how interviewer will trick you? As a fresher, interviewer will always going to trick you, because they know that most of the people come by mugging up the things. Okay, this is the question, I'll have to do this without understanding why we are doing it, what is the logic behind it. So if this give you a question, they see whether you are doing a linear search or a binary search. And if you're doing a binary search or linear search, why are you doing it? So they are not interested in seeing that you are writing a code or not. They are interested, do you even understand why are we doing this? So that is the major thing. So if you learn a simple getter, setter, anything, always write a code, always. Because writing a code will make you memorize the syntax. No, because most of the people have this problem. Okay, Java syntax is different, C++ syntax is different. How can I, like, I have started coding in C++, now I have to switch into Java. How can I do that? So no, for loop and if else, everything is same in every language. Every language, this core concept will be same. It's just some languages require the proper indentation, some languages require your proper semicolons or structure or something like that. Or even in some language you can write all your code in a single line, it doesn't matter. Okay, so you have to write your code, and then there is always come a time when you will come across a concept and you don't know. So because no one is like, he or she has read something and it's in then and there he she understand that concept. No one is like that. Okay, there is always going to be a difficulty in understanding a concept or learning a concept. So write that down, and always remember that if you have faced this for the very first time, after 1 week, 2 week, any time you are going to face that again. Because if you have learned that for a very first time, you might have done it for the very first time. So just write it down, and the thing which you are unable to solve at the very first time, you repeat that. You just revise that concept again and again. When you are confident enough, okay, if I'll get this concept and I'll able to write this, then only you say, okay, now I can put it in my learning bucket from my what to be learned bucket. Okay, so that is how you make your stack of learning bigger from the stack what you have to learn. So you just take one bite from what you have to learn and put it in your the bucket, which is what you have already learned. Okay, that is why you can start. And then when you think, okay, you are good ahead with the core concepts with the GFG doing code, then I would recommend you to go ahead with a lead code. And don't influenced by the people who say that I am a very good programmer of code forces. I am a very competitive programming of a code chef. Don't go ahead and just blindly start doing coding on the code chef and forces, because that is for competitive programming, and you have to make sure that competitive programming is very different from what they are going to ask you in the interview. Okay, so for that you have a very good platform called lead code. Lead code has a different level and different set of questions like easy, medium, hard. So as a fresher, if you do select a concept and you do the question of easy and medium, I think that's enough. They won't ask you, even in the companies, fan companies, they won't ask you very hard level of question as a fresher, because that is a very it does require expertise solving the hard level question of lead code. So yeah, GFG and lead code is a very good platform to start with your data structure and algorithms.
All right. So, like, you took up the topic of competitive programming right now. So let's
Yeah.
take advantage of that. And there is one question, like, it's further, but I will bring it up here itself. That actually, what is like basic difference between DSA and competitive coding, and with respect to our placements, on which we should focus, either of the two.
Okay. See, if I would give you a rough figure, let's say 100 of companies, product-based companies are there. 98 or 99 companies will majorly going to ask you the DSA, pure play DSA. Only one or two, the rarest of rare company, will ask you the competitive programming. Very rarest, as a fresher I'm talking about. And even on a experience level of 4 or 5 years of experience, this competitive programming is for you to enhance your skill. Like if you learn DSA is the basics of solving any question, any problems, any day-to-day life problem, right? Competitive programming is an extension of that. If you know the binary search, that is DSA. And how would you solve a major problem, like how can you design a game, or how can you design a concept using binary search? That is a competitive programming. So, and that, you know, whenever you give the interview will be like 90 minutes, 1 hour, 45 minutes, like this, okay, right? And your competitive programming, if you see, the competitive programming sometimes it goes up to 1 week, 4 days, 5 days. You start coding in 4 days. Why do they take so much time? Because they require to build a whole together new concept. They it requires you to create something from a very scratch. It doesn't ask you to like whether you are fundamentally strong or not. It asks you whether you can create something with using your fundamentals or not, right? So the basic idea behind this is, if you want to be a very you want to get placed in a very good company, DSA is more than enough for you. Yes, competitive programming, somewhere the competitive programming is very much required. Like I told you, in 1 or 2 companies they are going to ask you competitive programming. But yes, if you want uh, to compete with a great like brightest brain of the country or of the world, and you want to test your skills, where do you stand as in terms of DSA? Can you design a system using DSA? Can you use to design or use to solve a particular problem from the scratch itself using the DSS fundamental? That is what your competitive programming is. But as a fresher, you don't have to worry about more on a competitive programming. Once you get your hands dirty with the DSS, then you can go ahead and extend your knowledge doing the competitive programmers. And then there comes code chef and code forces into the picture.
All right, so this was by far the amazing, means most amazing, explanation I have heard about the difference between DSA and competitive programming. Right, so I think that we can go with the next question. So the question is like, how can beginners stay motivated and consistent with their DSA preparation, especially when faced with difficult challenges or setbacks?
Okay. So I think I have already covered that. Whenever you start something, you you anyhow or anyway you're going to get a problem anyway. You sometimes like you, when you start to learn few concept and then you go ahead and you like to give some competitive in challenges which goes around, like in the lead code you have this challenge on Saturday, bi-weekly contest on the Sundays, right? Then you get this 4 questions in a hour, and you solve one question, you solve 2 questions, and someday there might be a questions which in contest where you are not able to solve any of the question, right? So it's just a part of life. It's just a part of life. You guys might have seen so many people who are giving interviews or who has cracked the most amazing companies. They also will tell you that they are never did something, like they have never done mistake, or it's nothing like whatever question they get they always solved. It's never gonna happen. Like no one is perfect, right? No one is perfect, and you can go ahead and make yourself on the way of being perfect, but you cannot say that I am perfect, I can do anything or I can do everything. No one can do that. Okay, so always remember this: failure is a part of DSA, because DSA is you are a computer science student. You know the things are binary. Either it could go 0 or it could go 1. There is no in between 0.5 or 0.7, right? So you know, if you're solving a question, either you will solve it, which will give you 1, or either you won't solve it. But the process of learning lies in between 0 and 1. If you're solving even a 0.1 thing, don't think that this you're not able to solve it, so I am a 0. You have done few things in that. You have done 0.1%. So that is a way from which you can point it out. Okay, I am moving towards the 1. I am not moving towards the 0. I am moving towards the 1. So whenever you feel okay, I am solving a question, I am not able to solve it, just read about that question, note that question down, and always try to see 2 or 3 or more than 3, 4, any solution which you find for that question. You read every solution of that. Why? Because let's say you stuck into the question today, and luckily you get that question in one of the product based companies interviews or any of the interviews you get. So what will happen? You know the question. Now you have read that question solution, and now you know that how to solve this question. But what happen if the interviewer will twist that question, right? If interviewer will ask you, okay, can you solve this question with a different strategy? Do you have any idea? Like if a question can be solved in a 3 ways and you know only 1 way, and some guy come and he solved that question in a 2 way, they're going to prefer that person, right? Because he knows concept more than you. So then and there, because when you know something, you can get, or you can ask your mind to give me another idea, give me another idea to solve this question. But if you don't know any question, try to accommodate all the solution able. Try to read about it, go check your YouTubes, go just find in the Google okay, this is a question, who has solved this. Even if you do this, after every coding contest there is a solution available. They will show you like who has done the question in a fastest way. So never get demotivated from a people who has solved a question in 5 minutes or 2 minutes, and you are not able to solve that question in 1 hour, because those are the people who are doing something from 5 years, 10 years, and you have just started. So you have to build yourself to go from 1 hour to that 2 minute or 3 minute picture, right? So just compete with yourself. And other, if you are a prodigy or someone, like you saw some question and you are able to solve that like in a fraction of second in your mind, that is a different thing. That is a altogether different concept. But as a common person, a common student, you have to know that okay, you get a step, you read the solution, you read so many solutions, and then try to revise them, and then go ahead and do it. Always remember, you are never gonna succeed in every question in a very first attempt. And if you are getting that success, I think then you don't even require to read about things, because you have already known. So always make yourself a learner. Never make yourself that you have learned everything. That's my concept of learning things.
All right, all right. So let's go with the next question, Prashant. Now, how can beginners measure their progress in DSA preparation, and what are some good ways to track improvement over time?
Okay. So as I mentioned you, like when you learn something, you try to take participates in the contest or something. Now, if you are a beginner and you started now, so if you will participate today, you might be able to solve one question. You might be able to solve one question in 30 minutes or 45 minutes. But if means I'm just talking about a normal and general terms. If you will switch to the second question, you will definitely face the problem. You will face the problem like, okay, because it will never going to be a direct question and you just see and you start to solve that question. It requires a trick. It requires a uh, trick to crack that question. You have to have that conceptual knowledge. Okay, so how can you track it? You know when you learn something, and if I ask you to learn a binary search code, you will write that code in 1 hour, or after writing that code thousands of time, you will write that code in 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, if I'll ask you, okay, this binary search doesn't require, I don't want to traverse from 0th index to nth index. I want to search this element from 10th index to 20th index. If it is not there, then tell me the element you are not found, and if you found it, so I can manipulate the question, right? So when you see any question and your brain starts to think, okay, this is a question of binary search. Okay, this is a question of linear. Or this is a tree. Okay, this requires the leaf node. What I'll do, I'll go right to it, left to it, and means your brain it starts to think. See, we started to learn this addition, multiplication, subtraction, everything. Now we make ourselves prepare. We don't revise anything while we see, okay, we need to add something or we need to subtract something. We don't go and revise the addition or subtraction. Why? Because you have trained your brain in such a way that you want to add 10,000 plus 10,000, you know that is 20,000, right? It's kind of a, you're making your brain to understand that, okay, my brain knows this thing. And when you achieve that thing, you will get that sense of satisfaction. You will get that sense, okay, I saw this question, I know. And trust me, if you will start to get this feeling that you saw a question and you know, okay, what concept is going to be there, then you will not have this question that how to track your progress. And yes, if you really want to track your progress in a competitive way, then there is a contest which is going around the globe, and then you. But I personally doesn't prefer to track my progress comparing with others. So what I will do, I will say, okay, last month I have taken the part in this particular contest and I have solved this question in 30 minutes. Today I am able to solve 2 questions in 40 minutes. Okay, that is my progress, because I am able to solve 2 questions. If I solved even a 1 question in 10 minutes, that is my progress. That maybe my typing speed has increased, maybe my thinking and typing speed syncing is very good. So this all sorts of things you will start to develop in your brain when you start to track yourself, that you are on a right track to learn something, or you are on a right track to achieve something.
All right, right. Yes. So I hope that you guys have understood whatever Prashant has said about tracking the progress and improving yourself day by day. So I will tell you guys one thing that if you guys have any questions, you can put in the chat box. There are a couple of questions remaining, and later we can go with your questions from the chat box, or you can even post them in WhatsApp group, right? So I can even check the questions from there, right? So next question, Prashant, is how can beginners balance learning DSA with other programming concepts or projects they are interested in pursuing? Like if someone is also interested in development, so how can he balance development and DSA along?
Yeah. So in the very first, I told you that no company will hire you only on the basis of DSA, right? Like there are companies who can judge you like, okay, you have done the DSA, that you are a good developer. But in the company itself, in any company, you are not going to ask, or you are not going to assign the work to solve a tree question or a graph question. You are assigned to solve a problem. And again, I'm saying the problem requires a different set of instructions to solve. It requires different components. That is why we have so many teams in a single team. Like we have a, even we have a QA team, we have a developer team, then we have a requirement gathering team, right? Even in the development, we have a front end team, we have a back end team, we have a SQL team, the query team, likewise. So when you say that how to make yourself know that how, like, you want to learn DSA and you want to learn core subjects or you want to learn the projects, so I would always say make DSA as a part of your life. Make DSA is a learning process of your life. Like you are a developer, if you keep on increasing your enhancement or keep on increasing the or enhancing your skills of solving how to solve a problem, that is DSA. If you know how to solve a problem, that is DSA, you will get that from the DSA. But how to solve that problem by writing the code, by getting all the different things together. If I give you 10 different things, or if I give you if you're cooking something, if I give you different ingredients, getting that ingredient, you know that if you have to cook some sweet dish, you require the sugar. If you have to cook some salty dish, you require salt, right? So you know to which thing is required for which cooking which thing, that is DSA. That you will develop your ability via DSA. But how to cook, you know how to cook, what all are other ingredients you want to make, how much water it requires, how much cooking it requires, what will be the temperature of that. That all you have to do in a company, and that all you will learn via doing some projects. That is why as a fresher, your resume is a very important thing. When you showcase your resume, when you, because as a fresher you don't have any experience, how can you sell yourself that I am a very good candidate for your company? So your resume is just a preface for it, right? Your resume is an interface between you and your recruitment company, that you are selling yourself on this basis. So if you said, okay, I have done thousands of question on the DSA on lead code, and they say, okay, thousands of question, and then there is a guy come who says, okay, I have done 500 question on the DSA and I have done 2 projects on Java or Python or C++, any of them. Now even if you know nothing, you get this idea, okay, someone has the knowledge from the different area. So if that person has already has the knowledge of projects, he knows how to solve and how to create a project, yeah, he can learn the DSA or other core concepts with bypassing each day, by being involved in a project or something. So anyhow they will prefer that person only who will able to solve that project. So make yourself in line with this statement or with this thought, that make DSA as a part of your life, because you are a developer, you want to be a developer and you want to enhance your skills by reading a question and getting the intuition of solving that question. And then you do some projects like you do a simple projects of, let's say, URL builder is a very common project. Or you say that, oh yeah, okay, I want to do some more stuff on the UI front. Then you say, okay, let's build something in hotel management or the vehicle management kind of a thing, right? It's now it requires your UI features, so you will learn something on the UI. So if you do a project by yourself or in a team of 2 4, you have to have that knowledge, then only you can collaborate everything together to create a project. And every company requires that ability, that capability in you, that I want a person who is a compact enough to produce me a result. They just don't want you to solve a question on a paper and that's it. They want you to solve that question, build that question in a way that can be presented to their client, and it would be a beneficial. It would have that impact that will create a proper product. So that is where you have to say, okay, if I have 3 hours or 2 hours or 4 hours daily, I would always recommend you to divide from starting, divide it into the 60-40 ratio of your time. Give 60% time or 70% time of your DSA. Start with the basic concept of HTMLs, Javas. In Java, you can learn the collections, you can learn the multi-threading, exception, because these all are the concepts you will require in any of the programming languages in any project. And then once you are stable and when you are thinking, okay, I have make my gradual pace in the DSA, then you can go ahead with 50%. create some projects, make your resume so good that if I saw that resume, I will be like, okay, this is very eye catching. This person has done 350 questions on lead code, and he has done two projects, and that project has the UI also, that project has that good tech stacks, and we can use the tech stack, we can use that ability. So why a company will hire someone who doesn't know a tech stack? So company will say, okay, let me hire this person and teach him for 3 months, give him a training for 6 months, and then I'll make them start working on the project. Or company will hire someone who has the knowledge of some tech stack, and they just provide a simple training, and you can go ahead and start doing the projects on that. So yes, you have to make a very gradual or a very thin difference between your DSA and project, and give time to both equally. I would recommend that.
All right, all right. So Prashant, we have got one question in WhatsApp actually. So the question is, how much hours should be given per day, and how many months like that will require to
You are
get
not
into top?
audible, Himanshu, I guess.
Yeah, okay, okay. Sorry for that. All right, so we have got one question in WhatsApp. Actually, the question goes like, how much hours should be given per day, and how many months like that will require to get into top product-based companies like practicing DSA?
See, it totally depends on an individual. And we know that everyone's capacity of grasping a concept is different. I can grasp something in 2 hours. Someone can grasp something in 1 hour. Someone can grasp something in 10 minutes. So it totally depends on you. But as a student, as a fresher, we know that we have an ample amount of time to learn things. Because once you get into the industry, they will say, okay, it's a 8 hours job, but it will never be a 8 hour job. It will be anyhow, it will be a 10 to 12 hours job. And after doing a 10 to 12 hours of your mentally thing with your companies, it will be like a very mentally tired thing. You will not able to process, or you will not able to learn things. So if as a fresher or as a student you have this perfect thing with you, that you can give 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, it totally depends on you how much hours you can give, and it totally depends on an individual interest. Like if myself, I am doing some coding thing for a Saturdays or Sundays or weekends. If I'm doing some coding challenges, sometimes I do for 5 or 6 hours, right? Sometimes some days I would like, okay, 1 hour is enough, right? It totally depends on the question you are doing, the concepts you are learning, and then the interest you are making into it. So I would recommend daily, if you say 90 days, I think 3 to 4 months as a fresher, 3 to 4 months for DSA is enough. If you are learning somewhere around 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, you are giving a very core 2 to 3 hours. It's nothing like for one question you are just giving 2 days, 3 hours. That will not help. If you're not able to solve that question, read about that question, read about that concept, and then solve it. So make these things very clear, like make your learning process very efficient. Some people say, okay, don't you might have heard some people will say, don't jump into another question unless or until you solve this question. If it would take 10 days or 20 days, just stuck to that. I don't think and that is a very efficient way of a learning thing. Because as we mentioned that no one is perfect, everyone requires a learning. If you don't know anything, that is perfectly fine. You learn that thing, and you go ahead and learn the different concept. It's just sticking onto something and just giving your inputs, and you don't know like where is the end of this tunnel, from where the light is going to come. That will not going to help you. So divide your time, and likewise, and I think 90 days or 120 days for a fresher. Make sure if you're starting from the scratch, 5 to 6 months is enough. And if you know a little bit of your language, if you know little bit of arrays, manipulations, strings, then 3 to 4 months is enough. But if you're starting from the scratch, 6 months is enough, and 3 to 4 hours are perfectly fine for you. Perfectly fine.
All right, all right. So, yes, so that actually wraps up this podcast. So if you guys have any further doubts, you can drop me the DM, or you can even connect with Prashant on LinkedIn. I will drop down the links of his LinkedIn and even the Dev Crusades LinkedIn and all. All right. So, Prashant, thank you so much for joining this podcast. And it was an amazing session and lot of valuable information you told us from an industry person's perspective. So, that uh, actually is amazing. All right. So, thank you everyone for joining. And thank you, Prashant, once again. I hope like we will be doing some more podcasts in future. And we would like to have you, Prashant, again if we are going any on different topic. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
sure. Yes.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
having
having
me, Himanshu. It's a
Yes.
great time.
Sure. Okay. Okay then. Okay, guys. Thank you
All,
so much. Yes.
all the best to everyone.